The horizon, as seen by the average person, is approximately 4.7 kilometers away, or 3 miles. This leaves vast expanses of water that are just off the coast of every country, and they're difficult to monitor and near impossible to patrol. So we began to build structures hundreds of years ago, lighthouses and towers, to keep watch and monitor our coastal waters. Well, this did very little to deter piracy and other illegal acts going on the open seas. Because when we built these structures, we really only increased the viewing distance by about 10 miles. So pirates still had a humongous advantage when they were out on the open ocean, in remote areas off the coasts.
So what kind of advantages do these pirates have?
Well, pirates in this modern time have a habit of flying under flags of convenience. This makes it almost impossible to discern between friend or foe. And these pirates, they have there's no holds barred. They will repaint their ship on the open ocean. They will completely change their identity from one port to another.
So what exactly are flags of convenience?
Well, flags of convenience, it comes back from, in World War II, the U.S. wanted to assist Britain. But because we had not yet declared war against the Axis, we could not legally take a side due to neutrality laws. So, to circumvent these neutrality laws, the U.S. financed the production of a war vessel, and it was built in Panama to fly under the Panamanian flag. Well, this has since become common practice and occurs often among ship owners in the modern day.
So are pirates the only one who use flags of convenience?
This is also economically based. First world shipping companies must compete in the global marketplace, where they are competing against dangerously low-priced third world alternative companies. These companies and countries will actually own these companies, run with almost no standards for health or environmental concerns or really any regards for human safety at all. So this breeds a system with a lack of morals and a knack for dangerous and unsafe
It sounds like any ship can sail under any flag?
Well, a ship, no matter where it was built or who owns it, can, for a small fee, sail under a flag of its own choosing. Ships are thus only required to adhere to the laws of the country whose flag they fly. And this causes numerous issues in ports, because it's almost impossible to discern the nationality of every crew member aboard a large cargo ship. So it also makes it easier for pirates and the like to sneak aboard a larger vessel, because they tend to do that for larger ships, and they'll try to capture.
This makes it
smaller
sound
ships.
like it would create a competition and lower prices and lower standards.
Well, it does create a kind of low standard. And it's true. A ship's owner can demand that his captain and crew, that are probably from the third world, sail through storms and other life-threatening situations, even though the ship were in horrific shape. But it's no skin off the owner's neck, because, well, if the ship were to sink, the owner would simply collect the insurance. They're insured on all of their cargo and their ship. And because most container ships are crewed by third world citizens, nobody would really look out for that. So there's virtually no repercussions for the owner. And in the book, The Outlaw Sea, Langewiesche wrote that the cargo of molasses being carried by the container ship, the Crystal, was a pretty good indicator of the intent of the owners. For the molasses that was on board would simply dissolve into the ocean and disappeared, leaving no trace of an accident, unlike, say, an oil spill. So this meant that there would be no damages that the owner could be liable for when the ship sank for some accidental reason, even though it was probably for insurance gathering purposes. And a lot of that can be traced back to things such as when it comes to shipbreaking and breaking down a ship after 25 years of service. It has tons and tons of toxic materials on board and things that are hazards. So in a first world country like the US, where shipbreaking actually took its start, was financially not a good decision for companies, because as environmentalists and human rights activists fought against it, it became more and more expensive to break down a ship on our shores. So by sending it overseas, we can break it down for cheaper, because here, when you break down a ship, the steel would be worth less than the market price of the same amount of steel. And it has simply to do with the toxicity and environmental hazards. So disposing of these things costs more money. And in the third world, you don't have to dispose of these things. Yes, it's a horrific hazard for those who are working on the ships, but off the coast of India, where one of the biggest ship graveyards is, it's kind of an everyday thing, because you have to choose between, is your family going to starve to death, or are you going to, get a little sick working on a ship, breaking it down so that you can actually survive. And most people will choose being sick and supporting their families over not being sick and the whole family starving to death.